Hey everyone, what is going on? It is BradPhusion here, and welcome back to another episode of Phusion Industries, where in today's episode I will be showing you guys the Phantom series. Now the Phantom series is only really consisting of two ships, however one of them has a slight variation that doesn't really change too much. I just decided to build it anyways. So the first one here, as you guys can see, this is the basis of the designer, because I wanted to build something that was different than what I normally build. For a few instances, this is using a lot of armored ramps, which is by a modder by the name of Uncle Steve, I think. Uncle Steve? Steve? I don't know what your name is, sorry, Uncle Steve. That's how I'm going to say it. But these here are great. These here allow for so many different options with your building, and this here is one of the things that I built with it. Now again, it's very simple. I normally try to build either functionality or cosmetically pleasing. And this here, I feels more so towards the side of cosmetically pleasing, but it's still functional in some ways. I probably wouldn't use it in survival, but it's kind of like a racer. Essentially, that's kind of how I built it. It reminds me of F-Zero, so why not build a racer? The cockpit is the azimuth cockpit, which looks great, and so are the thrusters that you see on the sides and on the back, as well as top and bottom. They are great because they do emit a strong thrust for very little power and space that they take up. These only take up 1 by 1 by 1 blocks, or 1 cube blocks, which is nice for how much output they actually have. So again, this reminds me a lot of F-Zero, and I think it might remind a lot of you guys of that as well. So this one here is a medium, no, this one here actually, sorry, is light armored completely, as it is lightweight, so it'll be faster in races. This next one here that you see painted black is actually a heavy armored one. The reason why it's heavy armored, I couldn't really say. I guess it's more if you're coming up to fights that are going to be rather brutal and you need that little bit of extra armor. Other than that though, it doesn't really serve much of a purpose. I just kind of built the original one out of heavy armor. So I guess if you want to send this into slight combat situations, maybe as a decoy, maybe to scout out enemy vessels, just in case it comes under fire, you have that little bit of armor to protect you as you get out of there in a flash. And again, these ships are rather nice. They are only 3 blocks high. That's kind of what I was going with, a very sleek design. That's the thinnest you can have with any cockpit, I think, available to us right now, as the cockpit's heights are around about 3 blocks high. And I tried to squeeze everything I can inside of it, and even the reverse thrusters, which normally when I build them towards the front. These ones here are actually built towards the back, as you see on the miniature wings that you have on each side there. Again, rather simplistic design, but I think they look rather nice and sleek, and we'll go take them out for a flight in a second. The last ship is the Phantom Attacker. Now, well, I'm not really too sure on that name. It's more of a armed scout vessel, so this will be flying towards enemy vessels, finding out where they are, and just in case it needs to shoot at anything, it's armed with 4 Gatling cannons. You can replace them with rocket launchers if you see fit. I just like the aesthetic of these Gatling cannons inside the ship because they look rather nice. This here is a lot bigger. It actually has a lot more thrusters and gyroscopes, and as well as power on the inside. But again, it's a rather sleek design and only 3 blocks high, which makes it rather thin and rather agile in most senses. So again, we'll take these out for a quick fly, so let's go over to where I have them parked over here. Now I have added a few different paint jobs towards these. This one here is a red and white, which I think looks really nice. I don't know, it's just something about this ship that appeals to me, and it's really quite awesome. Another thing I like about this ship and its cockpit is the fact that this cockpit is actually see-through, so when someone else is sitting inside of it, you actually see someone else sitting inside of it, and I think that's really cool. This one here is black and red. This is the light armored variant. This one over here is the heavy armored. A bit confusing with how I painted them over there, but you guys can see that in a second. And this one here is the Phantom Attacker, which again uses the red camo I've been using a lot lately. So let's take out the default one over here and let's test this out for a bit of a spin. Now, like I said before, these are more so racers than anything. You have a wide perspective in this. You have about 210 degrees from left to right, and about, oh sorry, not 210, yeah actually no, about 210 degrees left to right. And from there to about upwards and behind your head, I'm going to say maybe about 120 or so. Again, you have a wide field of view just so you can see your opponents in a race or see your environment, so you won't be crashing into anything too much. So let's take this out for a spin, shall we? This is, like I said before, it's rather fast, not so much in acceleration. Well, actually, yeah, it kind of is fast in acceleration. I just kind of don't want to hold down the throttle, so I accidentally crash into the asteroid and be a little bit silly. But again, a rather thin ship. I quite like how it's designed. It looks rather sleek, it looks nice, and I hope you guys like it as well. It will be up on the workshop again, like all my ships have been in the past, other than the Scarlet, which I'm still working on. There's currently a lighting bug with a lot of lights, causing lights to flicker on and off. And since Scarlet is just full of lights, there is a lot of flickering going on, and it actually hurts my eyes and gives me a headache. So I've been waiting on that. I think it was actually in yesterday's update. So whilst I've made a little bit of progress on the Scarlet, I haven't made too much just because of what's been happening with the lighting and all that. But anyway, let's take the ship back real quick here and let us go. And well, that was a slight collision. I'm a bit silly, but actually, I don't think that hurt it much at all. And this is probably why I like having the slight bit of heavy armor inside this ship. Actually, did that hurt it at all? I didn't think it did. I'm genuinely surprised. Again, I like how thin it looks underneath. It's just so clean, like a razor blade. That is just, I don't know, it's nice to me. Did that damage anything at all? Because I know I hit this here. I guess not. Oh well. Yeah, but yeah, if you go to land it, for example, if I go to land it like it is right now, it just sits nice and flat up against the surface, and it actually looks really, really nice. Again, it doesn't have any landing gear, so the only way you can really lock it in is either using one of the landing gear mods that actually act as a mag lock of sorts, so it's just a very, very thin layer of landing gear. I'm not too sure if I had these installed right now. Don't think I do, but you guys know which one I'm talking about, I'm pretty sure, so I'll leave that up to you guys whether or not you guys want to put landing gear on these or not. I'm not going to, because I'm not really going to worry about it too much, but yeah, you guys can do it yourself. This one here is the fully light armored one, and you can actually see that its acceleration is actually considerably a lot better, considering the fact that it's only got a few blocks changed out on it. All the ramps are light armor, as opposed to the other one that has the ramps of being heavy armor. But nice, it performs nicely, I think, for a racer anyways. So again, I'll leave this one here, and we'll take out the Phantom Attacker, which I think is probably the one variation that I'd like to take out for a flight. So let's go over here, and let's test this one out, shall we? So again, you have a wide field of view, the same field of view as the other ones. I didn't really want to change that too much. The ship is a little bit vulnerable with the fact that it has its cockpit on the front of the vessels. I'm trying to go with designing I think probably the next ships, or the next attacking ships I'm going to be doing, if they're going to be having cockpits, I'm going to be putting them on the inside, so they're a little bit more hidden, less exposed, but you might have to use a little bit cameras to see here and there. So let's go take this one out for a flight, shall we? So again, you may notice that the acceleration is about equal to the other ones, maybe a little bit slower in that regards, but again, it's nothing too serious, and you can see that the Gatling guns can fire like so, and it looks really quite nice. I don't think I've really damaged the ship too much from firing. Maybe if I move too fast left and right, this will actually occur. Let me just quickly try that right now. The ship does look really, really great when attacking as well. It just has that streamlined effect that looks really, really nice. It's a very stealthy looking ship, and I think if it had a black coat of paint, if I just do that real quick here, just give that just that really stealth type appearance. Maybe this is not too dark. Well, it's shiny, I admit, that's not bad, but it's not what I was looking for. Let me go with a darker color. Oh, this might be a bit too dark, actually. Oh, maybe not. But if you had, say, Eternal Darkness, so not Eternal Darkness, but if you had a dark skybox, or even just the normal skybox, this thing coming from a distance in the darkness would be almost scary as hell. If you had several of these, and maybe some of them equipped with rocket launchers instead, I mean, hell, you could probably just replace the bottom ones here with rocket launchers instead, so that way you have 2 Gatling guns and you have 2 rocket launchers. That could work just perfectly, and this thing here would be scary. I wouldn't really want to come up to a fight in this thing, just because it would be, one, very hard to hit because of how thin it is, and secondly, the firepower this thing has and the speed this thing has is rather extreme. So again, probably built for more of a hit and run type tactic, as that's probably what I would use it for. Flying past an enemy ship, for example, like if I was to fly it up here and start attacking it like so, and then just flying off without having to worry about any consequences. And since you can change your angle and your flight pattern rather quite easily with this thing, I think it's rather efficient in what it does. Again, this will be up in the workshop for you guys to play around with yourselves. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's video. So, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Stay awesome everyone, and have a great weekend.